I'm legally insane, and you're watching my Wii U game prices are going up series where I discuss 100 Nintendo Wii games where the prices are going up, have already gone up, and will continue to go up, or have not gone up but will go up. And yeah, okay, you know what? With 100 Wii games, you try coming up with 100 Wii games. You know how the Wii library is mostly garbage. Okay, so to get to 100 is pretty difficult. So in some cases, we're going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel. And hell, maybe one or two of these games aren't even going to go up. But you know what? Whatever games those may be, they're still going to be hidden gems. And they're still going to be good games. I'm going through 100. We already went through a total of 8 in the first 2 episodes. This is now episode 3, and I got 3 more coming at you. We're going all the way to 100. And I guarantee there's going to be one game in here that you ain't never heard of before. Because I hadn't heard of it. It was submitted by a viewer in the comments section. And I checked it out. It's a pretty good game. It's a funny game too. You'll know when we get there. It'll be the last one on the list here. Or maybe the second one. So let's go ahead and get started. And just a reminder for those that are new to this series, I already went through the Xbox 360. Check out my 6.9 episode series on 69 Xbox 360 game prices that were going up. And they all went up. Every single one of them. Right now, we are at the basically rock bottom prices for the Wii. Yeah, some of them have gone up and they're trending up. But a lot of them are still at what will be considered in the future to be rock bottom prices. And when I talked about the 360... back over a year ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, everyone said, "Oh, those games will never go up. They're all worthless. They all belong in the dollar bin. I can find them at the pawn shop for $1." Okay, well, have you checked out your pawn shop lately, buddy? Because you can't get any of them for $1. Okay, and this is the other thing: the trolls out there that don't understand anything about these retro games and these economics regarding retro game prices. They don't understand that there's a difference between Call of Duty and Operation Darkness for the Xbox 360, or Call of Duty and Little Samson, okay? Pick Call of Duty versus any rare game ever made. There is a difference, and they don't understand the difference. So enough of that. I got a lot of veterans. They know all about this. Let's get started with game number 1. And I mentioned this one before. This was a game pickup in one of my Wii videos. About, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, maybe a year ago. Rhythm Heaven Fever. I got a really good deal on this one. That was part of the reason I picked it up. This is one of the rarest games on the Wii, or rarest and most sought after game, because there are some rare games on the Wii that no one would ever want to purchase. And I'm not even going to be bringing those up in this series, those particular ones. There's one in particular that I'm thinking of. Two that I'm thinking of. So what is this? This is obviously a rhythm game. But did you notice something unique? What's it say in that bottom corner right there? This is a first-party Nintendo published, created, developed, and published first-party Nintendo game. It's the Nintendo game that nobody knows is a Nintendo game. But they're sure learning quick, buddy. They're learning quick. It's one of the funnest rhythm games ever made. It's the sequel to the DS version. That's going to play a role coming up in the future. And you only use 2 buttons, so anybody can play it. And by the way, it's 2-player as well. There's a 2-player mode, and it's fun as hell. Over 50 minigames. 50 minigames. This is the WarioWare of rhythm games. Let's check out the chart. Well, remember when I said the market is learning quick that this is one of those rare, hidden gem first-party Nintendo titles? This ain't no third-party shovelware. If I had seen this in the store back in the day, I would have instantly thought that this was nothing but shovelware. There's a lot of shovelware on the Wii. It's a real shame, and it had consumers. Once the consumers figured out how much shovelware was getting pumped out, they were, they were extra careful with their dollar and kind of avoided anything that remotely even looked like shovelware, like the plague. They just avoided it, didn't even look at it. So nobody saw the little Nintendo logo, and nobody bought this game. Well, this is one of those games that has already started to climb quite heavily in price. It is definitely in the upper tier of Wii games for price. And for those that are new, this chart up here is US dollars. Down here, I like to put Canadian dollars down here because my brain understands Canadian dollars. If you tell me something is worth 50 US dollars, I don't really know if that's expensive or not unless you convert it into Canadian dollars for my brain. So let's convert up to USD just to give you Americans a good rough idea here. We're looking at a $121 CIB game here. Now, that does not mean that you will be able to get it for that price. As you can see, a recent sold listing, $129.99. And was that even CIB? Because it doesn't even specify. Here's a CIB 95. Probably did not include shipping. Here's one about $139.99. Let's click on this. Let's check. Was this CIB? Oh my God, I don't even think it was. That's ridiculous. Who the hell bought this? Is there a manual? Okay, there might be a manual hidden in the back there. Otherwise, this guy got ripped off. But that's a testament to how rare this dang thing is. Okay, let's look at it. This is in the CIB category, but price charting has some flaws. Okay, here's one. I mean, frig, not even that long ago, October 18th, almost 150 US dollars. Let's switch back to Canadian. Here's the chart here. It's basically been a straight line up ever since the bottom, which was 2018, which was a common bottom. You could get 360 games, rock bottom prices around that era. PS3 games around that era as well. PS3, 360, GameCube have all had their rip-roaring days higher. Well, the Wii is the silent killer here. The Wii has been stealthily going up and nobody's noticed it and nobody's talking about it. Except for me. I'm talking about it. Because you ain't seen nothing yet. In fact, this game here, you might be thinking, well, how could this game go any higher? Buddy, this game's going a lot higher. Unless Nintendo re-releases this, it's only going to continue to climb long term. That's the other thing. People don't understand what long term is. When you see a dip down like this, nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. The dips don't mean nothing. It's a correction. It's just like the stock market. Games are no different. Supply and demand is what drives stocks higher or lower. Okay, fear and greed. It's the same thing in these retro games. Fear and greed, supply and demand. When greed sat in with the 360 games, fear sat in. The buyers were all fearful. Oh, the prices are going up so high. And then you'd have guys buying a top cost straight line up. Well, that's unsustainable. Unsustainable. Supply and demand. All the resellers come in, all the people looking to flip. Well, once those games get into the hands of collectors, after all the flippers finally sell out and the price dives back down to a more reasonable price, but it never goes back down to where it started, buddy. You ain't never going to get this game for $5, $10 ever again. Look at this, $10. You could have got this for $10.95. July 2018. Why didn't you buy it back then? And now you're looking at this game today, $168, $169 Canadian dollars. Well, straight line up, but it's had some dips, and I want to point out this dip right here in particular, because you might run across this. For all my technicians out there, I know there's at least one of you guys out there. This guy's like a professional technician. I'm not a professional. This looks like a clear double top. So when you get a double bottom, the stock goes up after. It's like very high odds that would happen. Well, the opposite happens when you get a double top. So it hit a top, bounced back down, came back up, retested that same high, failed breakout again. stock has now dipped down. This is now dipped down, and it's dipped down to a predictable level. The predictable level was what was the previous support line. Where did this game previously have heavy pricing support at? And that was at this $120 level, as indicated right here. And hopefully this video is showing this. I'll have to hit stop in a minute here, test it, see if it's recording. And exactly, $120 on the button is where it's landed. And it, look at this, continued support at $120, roughly. So that's very bearish when a double top happens, and it did what it was predicted to do. But it does seem that there's heavy support at $120. Now, 5 or 10 years from now, do you really think that this is going to be $120? At the very least, I'm going to tell you right now, at the very least, it's going to keep up with inflation. Meaning it's going to, at minimum, keep up with the government rate of inflation. At the bare bones minimum, which is the fake rate of inflation. But it would not surprise me if this were to keep up with the real rate of inflation. You can find that on Shadow Stats if you want to look that one up. So, great game. Now, here's what I want to point out, though. Here's what I want to point out. This game, they should have called it WarioWare Fever. Or Wario Rhythm Fever. That's what the game should have been called. And if you're wondering to yourself, well, am I interested in that game? Because you shouldn't buy games that you're not interested in. Well, ask yourself, would you buy it if this was a Wario game? Would you buy it if it was called WarioWare, to be more specific? This is like a WarioWare rhythm game. So if you are familiar with WarioWare games, which are filled with very unique, obscure mini games, which is exactly what this is, but in the form of a rhythm game, if it said Wario on the cover, WarioWare, would you be interested? Because I know for a fact they would have sold an extra 100 million copies, right? It would have sold like hotcakes if it had Wario on it. So this is a great contender for a game that will likely hit 500 Canadian dollars at some point in the future. We will get $500 to $1,000 Wii games at some point in the future. Every console gets them. The Wii will not be any exception. The Wii will never be as big of a heavy hitter console as its competitors, 360, PS3, GameCube. But there's still some good games in that library, and they will go up. So this was game number 9. Let's hit up game number 10. Once again, these games are in no order. We're going through 100 games in no particular order. Game number 10, we got a very unique one. This was submitted by a viewer. Thank you for the submission. Domino Rally. I had never heard of this before in my entire life. This has a different name in the UK for those PAL region viewers. I actually forget what it's called offhand, to be honest. We will find out as we go through this, though, because I'm going to show you some real unique stuff and some reviews that were written by, obviously, Europeans, because it did go by that other name. This is the unofficial sequel to Mr. Domino for the PlayStation 1. Okay, so the game itself is very simplistic, but it's fun. Okay, don't write it off yet. It's a discount budget title. It was probably sitting in the discount bins. It was probably $20 brand new. It wouldn't surprise me if it was. I don't know if it was, but it very likely was. This is a game that you should count your blessings that this was even brought to North America. This is an extremely Japanese game. And we've gotten quite a few of these extremely Japanese games here before. There's one on the PlayStation 1. I don't remember the title. I'll throw a picture up on screen because I don't remember it offhand. It's gotten quite expensive. I would love to purchase it myself. Very, very Japanese. Everything about it screams Japanese. Well, in Domino Rally, even all the music is Japanese. We're talking like J-pop, like K-pop, but J-pop style Japanese music. And it's great music. The music alone should make you want to purchase the game. And the game's very, very cheap. It's a complete hidden gem. Ain't nobody know about it. It's a little bit on the rare side. I don't think it's very common. I don't think they printed 100,000 copies. I can tell you that right now. I think they knew they probably weren't going to get very many sales. It's obscure. It's like, what's that game? No One Can Stop Mr. Domino on the PS1. It's the unofficial sequel. Very similar style of gameplay. Simplistic on-rails running game where basically you're placing dominoes. So you're not controlling the character. He's just automatically running. And you're trying to get him to a certain destination on the map. Okay? You're trying to get him from point A to point B. And to get there, you're placing domino blocks. And he's going to keep running. And you're also going to be moving the Wiimote in the beat with him moving to try and get more blocks. So you can speed up his movement, slow down his movement, and the game rewards you for going fast. So going fast, but has also advantages and disadvantages. Because when you're going fast, if you don't know where you're going, because like if you haven't memorized the level, etc., it makes it more difficult the faster you go. So there's pros and cons to everything that you do. And you pick up memories that are going to be hidden amongst the various levels. And that's where the game gets funny and extremely Japanese. Great music, though. One of the best soundtracks of all time. Just like I said, just the music alone. Okay, let's pull up the chart.
Yay! Thank you! Yay! Yay, yay! Yay, yay! I'm so happy! Yay! Yay! Yay, yay! Woohoo!
Okay, here's the chart. And if you haven't figured it out, there's nothing fancy going on here. But that should be exactly what you had hoped for. It means the price hasn't gone up. If you're interested in a game, you want to buy it at rock bottom prices. This is pretty close to rock bottom prices, right? You're not going to get it for any cheaper. I don't think this is crashing down to $2. Okay, you're not going to get it for $2. I don't know who out there is thinking, has it even ever been $2? So I guess it was. 2014, you could have got it for $2. $1.62 in 2013. Holy hell, man. That's crazy. Holy hell. This was really in the discount bin. The Wii was still relevant in 2013, as far as I know. I think this came out when did this come out? 2010, I think? Okay, it came out in 2009. So by 2013, they probably sold exactly like 1,000 copies. And then it just went straight to the discount bin. But yeah, some of the Japanese memories that you unlock, I mean, they're meant to be funny. That's all it is. They're crazy. Only stuff that only Japanese can come up with. They don't make stuff like that here in North America. We don't make cool stuff like that. It's just not our target market. Mostly flatline. I mean, the chart, yeah, the world's slowest uptrend. I mean, if we were to draw a line from here, $5 to today, $7.70 USD. So about $10, $11 Canadian. You might have to pay taxes and shipping on top of that. You want a good condition one? Yeah, look at down here. You're looking at $13.91, probably plus, maybe $5 shipping even. So maybe a really good condition copy, you might end up paying $15, $20. I think I paid probably about that myself. I went for a mint condition copy. I'm very picky about condition. Even the case condition, I'm very picky. I'm a very hardcore collector. I like everything in mint condition. This is mint condition. I probably deliberately chose one that said mint condition. I might have got it on Amazon. There's another tip for you. Don't be afraid to compare prices between Amazon, eBay. Check other sources. Check your local stores. Check your local store websites, the mom and pop websites. There's another tip for you. Hell, I'll give you one of my other secrets. Check out Poshmark. Sometimes you find somebody slipping on Poshmark. So, a lot of ways to find a good deal, the best deal possible for the best condition possible. Very cheap today, but let's have a look over here. Here's No One Can Stop Mr. Domino. hit a peak of around $39.99 USD. That ain't cheap, buddy. Used to be a $10 game. Does a $10 game remind you of a game that you know today that we may have talked about in recent times that may be similar to No One Can Stop Mr. Domino? That may be an unofficial sequel to this game. Well, if No One Can Stop Mr. Domino, a very Japanesey, very obscure, unique hidden gem that some people really enjoy, can go from $10 to about 55 Canadian dollars down here. 36.28 today, but frig, sold listing about a week ago. We were looking at $50 sold listings. Price starting needs to update this average price here, buddy, or it's uptrending. Maybe it's uptrending right now and this needs time to catch up. We downtrended? Well, that's about 25 USD. Yeah, I mean, two recent sold ones, really the price has jumped. It dipped down to about $30. Look at all these $20, $40, $30. This thing's wild all over the place. But once again, condition may be playing a factor. And the point being, we have 3 recent sold listings between $40 and $55 Canadian. Well, does that look familiar? Because if you're interested in this unique game that some people say sucks, it got bad reviews. I'll tell you some of the reviews right now. I'll tell you some of the reviews, buddy. So I want to point out some of these reviews. This is Metacritic, and I'm only throwing this out there because you're going to see a wide range from people who hate it to people who love it. So we got a 42 from Nintendo Gamer. That's like on the low end. We got a 70 and a 60. Pretty broad, but nothing overly great. These are pretty average scores. 60, 70 is like average. But then down here, look at these. These are more modern reviews. The modern reviews really have a new twist on this game, giving this game a new life here. This is one of these reviews, August 2024. Look at that. Music is great, and I really like the style of the game and colors. We'll click on that in a moment here. The J-pop OST is charming and the art style is great. Yeah, screw the art style, man. Oh yeah, by the way, the controls, a lot of people complain about the controls. Yeah, hey, buddy, it's a budget title, okay? You're going to get bad controls. Plus, it's a Wii game. Point being that the reviews kind of dive all over the place, and that's normal. This guy gave it a 10, though. Let's see what this guy's saying. Controls are a bit annoying, but as the current record holder, I love the game and I'm proud to own the American version and soon the Japanese one too. This guy gave it an 8. Probably biased because I used to own this game on my Wii. Yeah, well, you definitely are biased. Let's check out the guy that's 42. Gave it a 42. Localization hasn't improved this fatally flawed game. I didn't think it was that bad, buddy. It's a shame as some good ideas have been smothered by lame controls. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That seemed to be, when I was looking into the reviews, that seemed to be the most common thing. Here, this guy's probably got a good review. Nintendo Life. For die-hard fans of oddball Japanese titles, the fact that Mr. Minion Everyday Hero, that's the PAL title, has some decent gameplay and nice trappings, which adds spice to what can sometimes seem like a mundane gaming scene. The price is probably worthwhile. So it's probably always been cheap. It's dirt cheap. You ain't going to get it. If you want to buy it, if you're interested in the game, like now's the time to buy it because a game like this could double very easily. It can go from $10 to $20 very quickly and very easily, especially when the Wii Mania phase comes in. Probably people are going to be going looking for all the hidden gems and the oddball games just like they did with every console before it. They're going to find out that this one's not super common. And it might fall into the same level as the PS1. No One Could Stop Mr. Domino. Could become a $50 Canadian game. Oh, it tested that, what was that, $30 level? $40 level. Wow, it tested that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It tried to break through that level. That's crazy. There's a lot of demand too for it to keep going up to that level. And finally it broke down. Wow. Very interesting, but it's found a new floor. I do want to point out one more thing, actually. This is GameFAQ reviews, and once again, you can see this great discrepancy. It's either you love it or you hate it. One guy gives it a 3 out of 10, and the other guy gives it an 8 out of 10. Number 11, believe it or not, we got Attack of the Movies 3D. I don't know if they did a reprint or what the deal is, but this cover is not very 3D, but I think it's supposed to be 3D. So maybe I have a reprinted version. I'm not sure. I'll show you something really cool about this. And there's something that makes this game very rare, to be more specific. I just want to show you probably the camera won't pick it up, but this one is a very 3D cover. This is a mint condition Xbox 360 version. But after I bought the 360 version, I realized, wait a minute, the Wii version is actually the best version. 4-player, on-rail shooter. On-rail shooter. The reason why the Wii version is the best is because an on-rail shooter should be played with motion controls. If you want the best experience, that's how you play it. So by default, this is the best version. But you got to take note of something got to be very, very careful here. What's that say? It says it comes with 4 pairs of 3D glasses. 4 pairs. All the console versions have it. But getting 4 pairs is very hard to get and very rare. What they look like, they come in a bag, assuming that the seller still has the bag, and there will be 4 pairs in here. What I've noticed is that it's dang near impossible to find somebody that's selling a copy with 4 pairs. So you're going to have to pay up big money to get those 4 pairs. And when I say big money, I mean don't go out there and pay $50, $60, $75, $100. Like, wait for a seller to post another copy. Like, put it on your watch list or something. Like, you don't need to overpay. Occasionally somebody shows up that does have 4 of them, but you're typically going to get charged a premium. Like when I was looking at the Wii version, one of the cheapest sellers only had 2 pairs. So for whatever reason, one of the other sellers had 3 pair. Why does nobody have 4 pairs of glasses? What the hell happened to these glasses? And why are there so many copies with no glasses? I mean, in a worst case scenario, maybe check the prices on the 360 version and swap the glasses over. I mean, that's what I had to do. Because this particular copy that I got in a bundle didn't come with the glasses. So the only reason I know what the glasses look like and have the glasses is because of my 360 version, where I deliberately made sure that I got the 3D glasses. And this game, it's a low budget. It's a low budget on-rail shooter. It got bashed. A lot of the rare games that end up being expensive or the hidden gems, they got bashed heavily. They got poor reviews and they got poor sales because of it. And this game is no exception, but guess what? This is a 4-player, fun, 3D on-rail shooter where you and 2 to 3 buddies are going to wear these 3D glasses. It's fun, it's funny, it's enjoyable, it's meant to not be taken seriously. You don't go into this expecting Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles for the Wii, one of the better on-rail shooters. Ghost Squad. You don't go into it expecting Sega branded and created arcade game ported over to the Nintendo Wii, top of the line on-rail shooter. But you also don't get a 3D glasses gimmick with those other shooters where you get 3D effects and having a good time with a simplistic on-rail shooter. I do want to read you one review. Okay, so just so you're aware, the game did get very bad reviews. Game Informer gave it 4 out of 10, IGN 4.5 out of 10, Endgamer 15%, which is equivalent to a 1.5 out of 10. Nintendo Power didn't even give it any justice. 4 out of 10 Nintendo Power, and Official Xbox Magazine gave the 360 version a 3 out of 10. Now, I'm not crazy though, mind you. And I ain't the only one saying that there's fun to be had here. And the Wii shooters are going to become the sought after games, or likely will become sought after games if and when these on rail shooters and motion control based shooters become popular. You know, we're one Metal Jesus video away from the kickoff to the Wii Mania. Every console gets a Mania phase, right? The Wii's going to have a Mania phase. We haven't had a Mania phase yet. But this game's cheap. I'll throw up the chart in a minute. I want to read this funny review by Game Informer. Editor Jeff Cork said the different levels played identically with nondescript targets showed a lack of branching paths or variations in gameplay, and called out the 3D elements for being a mixed blessing. This is where it gets funny. The game is so offensively ugly that I didn't want it getting any closer to me than necessary because of the 3D effects. So that's kind of funny. He concluded that the quote, the dubious benefits of the game's 3D effects is offset by its one-dimensional gameplay. Rail shooters don't get much more tedious, lifeless, or ugly than Attack of the Movie's 3D. Come on, man, it ain't that bad. Give it a go. But get it with the 3D glasses. Alright, so let's have a look at the chart here. Hasn't done much, but hey, there's still a clear trend here. Used to be able to get it for $4 in 2018. The trend is up. It's a slow and steady riser, my friend. And more importantly, though, like I said, whether you have the 3D glasses or not is going to play a role in the price that you pay. US dollars is about 960 CIB. Some of them will say if they have the glasses, does not come with 3D glasses. Disc only. No, oh, sorry, we want CIB. We're in the wrong category here. CIB, yeah, you're looking at about 10, 11, 12 bucks. Complete with 3D glasses, $4.99. Okay, here's 4 pair of glasses, $14.99. May or may not have been free shipping. But getting 4 pairs is pretty rare. Look at this, 1 pair of glasses, $11.99. 3 pair of glasses. Nobody has 4 pair of glasses. Driving me nuts over here. I'm going to die of a friggin' heart attack. Just want 4 pair of glasses. Why is it so hard? Clear trend up, though. There's nothing special about this chart. It's violent swings up and down, but with a clear trend. You gotta look at the trend. Let's look at the 360 version, though. 360 version, okay, about the same. You're looking at about $14, $15 game. Almost identical. Identical chart, too. Slow and steady riser. I think the game is gaining a little bit of fame. Every month and every year that passes, a few more collectors, they're finding out about it. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos of people mentioning this game, so it does get mentioned in the odd hidden gem video here or there. Hell, I mentioned it in 1 or 2 of my videos. The Wii version I know made it into a pickup video once. I said I was going to sell it. I never did once I realized that it's better than the 360 version, so I ain't selling it. And the 360 version, I may have mentioned I think it made it into one of my Xbox 360 bonus videos, I'm guessing. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but it was definitely in a pickup video. Oh yeah, it was in a pickup video for sure. It's definitely in a pickup video, because I remember that video. So, some of these games here, the last 2 games that I just mentioned, number 10 and number 11, they are scraping the bottom of the barrel. But, buddy, there's a lot more rare games and more hidden gems coming your way. I'm saving some of the better games coming up. Maybe in the next video, I'll put up what I think will be the first $500 Nintendo Wii game, because I haven't mentioned it yet. Possibly the first $1,000 Nintendo Wii game. And you can get it right now, today, for a lot less than that. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to get to over 9,000 subscribers. On my way to collecting over 9,000 retro video games. When we finally do hit over 9,000 subscribers, I'm going to bring your mother on the show as a special. Nacho King 69's mother. I'm going to bring his mother on the show. And maybe one or two of your other viewers out there. I might bring one of your guys' mothers on here too. I might have a threesome going on over here. Might have a four-way. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get to over 9,000 and we'll find out.
Rolling through the city with a pocket full of cash. Xbox 360, prices climbing fast. Got my eye on F-113, gonna cop it real quick. But I gotta hustle hard, the prices are real. Yo, mom's the plug, she got the hook up, no lie. At the 7-Eleven dumpster, I buy and buy. Splatterhouse, Blue Dragon, got them in my stash. Buying red games from your mom, what I want, she has. Xbox 360 price.